Johnny here, and today it's time for another Spirit Island game. After the last game with Starlight, I thought I'd try just a little bit of a simpler spirit, one that I've played a little bit more of, and that is Ocean's Hungry Grasp. Now this spirit is unique in that it actually puts in play the ocean lands, and I know that's a bit of a strange sentence, and how the spirit will work is that you'll build presence in the ocean and push them, just like a wave, into the coastal lands. You can't put presence inland, which makes dealing with invaders all the way in this corner here just a little bit difficult. At the same time, Ocean generates fear passively using their innate power, so that's pretty cool. And one of Ocean's special rule is that they can drown invaders to get energy. Any invaders that are pushed into the ocean, because that's something that we can do now because the ocean is in play, get drowned. And depending on how many players there are in the game, you get energy for whatever you push in there. It's based on the invader's health, and for a solo game, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if I pushed an explorer into the ocean, I would get 1 energy. If I pushed a town in there, I would get 2. And for a city, I'd get 3 energy. This works well with the second innate power, which allows Ocean to drown towns and cities. So not only do they get destroyed, so we get the fear, we also get energy if we drown them. Today I'm playing against the Scotland adversary, and Scotland likes the coastal lands, and the additional loss condition says if the number of coastal lands with cities is ever greater than the number of boards times 2, the invaders win. Bit of a mouthful, but that basically means in a solo game, if there is a city in each of these coastal lands, then we lose. Now in theory, Ocean should have a bit of an advantage against Scotland, because we can drown towns and cities along the coast. This is Ocean's domain, so hopefully we won't lose due to that loss condition. We're playing Scotland at level 2, so there are some things to keep in mind. The first level 1 text says, after setup in coastal lands, explore cards add 1 town instead of an explorer, and Scotland can do that for a maximum of 2 lands per board. So what that means is, if we were exploring in the waters, for example, usually we'd put an explorer here and an explorer here. However, for Scotland, this explorer is replaced with a town because it's a coastal land, and that makes its loss condition a little bit more scary. For level 2, the invader deck has been switched around a little bit, and that guarantees that the coastal land is going to come up. Whoa, what's going on, you might think? Well, the thing is, I noticed something in the last game, which I forgot. So I forgot to put a couple of towns on the coastal lands and at some point. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and do a game where I do not mess up any of the rules. And I don't think I can do it, but I am going to try. So although that last game was a success, I decided to keep the intro because I thought I explained things pretty well. So we're going to use the same rules with Ocean and we're going to try again. Let's finish up setting up. We explored in the jungles, and this jungle land is going to be problematic. So I'm going to take the third growth option, I think, to gain a power card and push some presence onto the board. I'm going to start off with some miners, and I'm kind of looking for water. Oh, this could be good actually. If we have Dahan in this area, that would have been fantastic. Right, so here's the plan. I'm going to use Tidal Boon to push some Dahan from my lands, so I can get it into this jungle land and get some defense when it ravages next turn. So I am going to pick this up. I'm going to push a presence from each ocean and add a presence to a coastal land. I'm going to unlock the second card play first, and then we'll deal with maybe some energy and some elements later. Let's place this presence here in the sand, and then we're going to push this presence into the mountain so we've got some good coverage. Just realized I don't have enough energy to pay for Tidal Boon, so I can't do that plan until I get some energy. So I need to drown some stuff. So fast powers, Call of the Deeps, we can gather an explorer. I'm in the situation where I actually want this jungle to build because I want to drown a town that's going to build. So I wouldn't want to actually remove this explorer. I think I will just gather this explorer into this coastal land just because it's another target to drown and also reduces the damage in this jungle. I don't expect I'm going to stop this blight, but I can try. We also get a fear for free. Fast power's done. Let's move on to the invader phase. First event doesn't trigger. We build in the jungles and we are exploring in the mountains. This town gets added to this mountain because it's a coastal land, and we explore with an explorer in the inland mountain land. But having 2 towns on the coastal land is really good because the second innate power that we've got allows us to drown a town in a coastal land. So why don't we do that? Let's drown this one here to get 2 energy off the bat. Then we can use Swallow the Land Dwellers to drown an explorer, a town, and 1 Dahan. So let's do it in this mountain land and just get rid of this town. No explorer or Dahan, so we don't have to worry about that. So slow power's done. Not a bad first turn. I'm still worried about this jungle land. I don't think we're going to be able to get some Dahan into that before it ravages. But we've got 4 energy to play with, so why don't we start working on the top row just to get some elements. I'm going to take it slow and steady and take the 3rd growth option again. So let's get another minor power. Water and earth would be good, and that has a moon as well for our other element. So I think I might have to get that. We can add a presence to a coastal land. So I'll just pop it into this sands here. And we've got 4 energy. So let's start pushing some things around. In this slower turn, I'm going to play Gift of Power to get a minor power. And Tidal Boon to see if we can start moving some of these Dahan around. Because if you've noticed, some of our powers actually destroy Dahan. So we want to try and keep them away from the coast as much as we can. That also allows us to use this Defend card as well on some of these inland lands which we can just about reach. No fast powers, let's move on to the first event. For the rest of this turn, explorers have +1 health. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. Now I kind of want these beasts to do some work. Let's pop this beast over here. On each board, add 1 Dahan to an inland land with Dahan. That's really nice. We can add 1 to this land here. Alright, so we are ravaging in the jungle. Dahan here take 1 damage. This Dahan is destroyed. This unfortunately gets a blight. And we're building in the mountains. So we get a town here. This disease prevents that build. And we have an escalation on the single board with the most coastal towns or cities. Add 1 town to the N lands with the fewest town. N equals 1. So we're just adding a town to a land with the fewest towns. So why don't we put this town over here? That way we can drown it. And then we are exploring in the jungle. Oh dear, which is not very good for us at all. And remember, we get a town on the coastal land here. So we've got lots of targets for drowning, but things are getting a little bit worrisome. Slow powers. Target spirit gains a minor power. Oh, this one, Sucking Ooze, has our elements perfectly. Otherwise, we've got this, which has got some good range. I think I'm just going to go for Sucking Ooze. I'm going to use our 2nd innate power to drown a town. I'm going to drown this one here. And Tidal Boon. We're going to target ourselves because we can in a solo game. So we gain 2 energy. And we can push 1 town and up to 2 Dahan from one of our lands. Let us push this town into the ocean. Maybe into here. This Dahan might save us with a fear card or something. At the end of this action, this town is in the ocean, so we actually drown it. And that is all the slow powers. And we've got a huge 9 energy that we can work with, which is fantastic for us because now I'm going to draft a major power. So we've got 2 options here. Trees Radiate Celestial Brilliance would be fantastic at defending this land here, and that would stop an escalation. So I'm very tempted to pick that up. Or we could use Unlock the Gates of Deepest Power to get lots of major powers. I don't want an unhealthy island, so I'm going to go for Trees Radiate Celestial Brilliance. And I'm going to forget Gift of Power. I think it did its job. So we can add 1 presence to the coastal lands. Let's grab from the top track. Let's pop it in this mountains here. Alright, things are progressing. We're ravaging in the mountains. I'm worried about these 2, but we can actually deal with that. We've got Elusive Ambushes, which will target this inland land. And we've got Trees Radiate, which we can target this coastal mountain here, because it says target land is a jungle or a land without blight. Fast powers, 3 fear, 1, 2, 3, and we defend 6, and we defend 4 in a target land with Dahan, which is going to be this one here. Great, so we've got plenty of defense in these lands. We're looking pretty good. So event card, let's have a look. I really don't want to undo all of that defense that we put down. So I'm going to take Leave its strength with the Dahan. Dahan have +10 health. And inland with Dahan, invaders have +1 health this turn. So this means this town has 3 health and this explorer has 2. So we're not going to be able to deal with them both when the Dahan fight back. For each land with beasts and cities, 1 fear. Oh, we do have one. We have one up here. So 1 fear. and destroy a beast. Oh no, no beasts on the board. That's not what you want to see. On each board with 4 or more towns or cities and 4 or few Dahan, well, we've got plenty of Dahan, so I'm not going to worry about that. Right, fear cards. Each town destroys an explorer in its land. It doesn't matter about the health of the explorers, we just destroy them. So that's pretty good. So this town destroys this one. This town destroys this one. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with 2 or more Dahan. So I have to do this because it doesn't say may, which is a shame because I could have done with this this fear, but we won't worry about it too much. All right, here we go. So we're ravaging in the mountains. This has 6 defense, so both of these are safe from blight. We're building in the jungle, which is a bit spooky over here. Nothing builds in this jungle. We have an escalation, so we have to place a town in one of the lands with the fewest towns. So why don't we, again, add it to a land where we have presence on the coast? We're exploring in the mountains again, so we get a town on the coast, and then we get an explorer over here. Jungles and mountains, that's the name of the game. No slow powers, time passes, and we're good to go. So now I think is a good time to reclaim, because I want that defense in this jungle land. Well, to be honest, I should have put this town over here. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's be retroactive about it. So we don't have to worry about this jungle. Fantastic. Reclaim all, and we gain a power card. Ooh, do I go for mages again? But what would I get rid of? Look, we're going to get loads of energy. Let's gain a major. Pent-up Calamity is pretty good, and it's got good range. Yeah, I think I'm going to get this just because it's got 2 range, which would allow us to touch these lands over here if they ever explore. In terms of what I want to forget, I think I'm going to forget... Yeah, I think because it only targets sand or water, we've only got 2 lands that it can ever target, so... Ooh, why is this over here? So we'll forget that. We have to gather 1 presence into each ocean, but we do gain 2 energy, which we love. We've got plenty to choose from. Do I need any sacred sites? I don't think I do. So why don't we just take this and pop this in the ocean there? So 7 energy. We need this defense, so we'll pop that down. We don't need any other defense. So I do want to try and drown something if I can. So playing Swallow the Land Dwellers, we actually unlock our 2nd innate power. So we can drown 2 towns this turn. Right, let's pay for that. And fast powers. So we get 3 fear. 1, 2, 3. We can target a jungle or a land without blight. So this gets 6 defense, which is just enough. Oh, should I have destroyed this Dahan? I think I should have. Sorry, Dahan. We've got 6 defense here, and it's just enough because we've got 7 damage in this land. No more fast powers. Let's move on to the event. In a land with exactly 1 Dahan that has or is adjacent to a city, replace that Dahan with a town. All of these lands actually have 2 Dahan. Each beast deals 2 damage. We've got no beasts. On each board, choose a land with at least 2 Dahan and at least 2 towns or cities. Well, we don't have any of those lands, so we don't have to worry about that. Another fear card. In each land with all of these tokens, or any of them, defend 3. So let's have a look then. So we're ravaging in the jungles, 1 damage to this land so it doesn't blight. We're building in the mountains. This coastal land is looking a bit scary, but it's fine. We don't have an escalation, but we are exploring in the wetlands. Right, slow powers. Drown 1 explorer, a town, and a Dahan. And also drown another town. So let's see where we want to target this one. I think I do want to reduce this. I'm going to drown a town and an explorer and a Dahan, but there are none there. And then we're going to drown another town as well. Time passes. Let's see where we want to grow again. Now, we're in a good position. We've got 8 energy. I think I might actually take the 2nd growth option, which allows me to add 2 presences and gain an energy, because we've got plenty of cards that we can play. Let's take from the bottom track actually, because I want this 3rd card play, and we'll pop them in the ocean. We have to gather one of our presences, so let's do that. And we gain an energy. We have so much energy. So I'm going to play Grasping Tide, which gets us 2 fear and defend 4. So actually we can deal with both of these ravaging mountains, because we can use our amazing defensive card here to defend 4 in this land. And we can use Pent Up Calamity to add a strife in this land and defend it. So we're good, we're good. 2 fear, defend 4 in a coastal land. 1, 2. And we're going to defend 4 in this mountain land. However, we do have 2 damage left, but we're going to do Pent Up Calamity to add a disease and a strife on one of these. So now we've only got 3 damage, 4 defense. That should be fine. We'll use Elusive Ambushes to add 4 defense into this mountain land here. We're going to build in the wetlands, which could be problematic, but we'll see if we can deal with it. I think we can. Right, fast power's done. Event. On a coastal land on each board, move 1 town, 1 or 2 lands inland. All right, so that's going to be this one. Oh, we could pop this over here actually, because if we put it into this land, this inland land, then these Dahan should be able to take care of it. On each board, choose a land with disease. In that land, do 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. Well, we've only got 1 target, so let's deal 2 damage to this city. During Ravage in each land, defend 1 per Dahan in that land. So that just gives us 2 defense in this land. So fear cards, we're in terror level 2. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with presence. Okay, well that's only going to be this explorer. Today is your unlucky day. Right, let's have a look then. We are ravaging in the mountains, 6 defense here. The Dahan take care of both of these towns. We'll leave this explorer. This strife gets removed and 1 damage to the land, which isn't enough to blight it. We're building in the wetlands. So let's get a town here and a town here. And we're exploring in the coastal lands. Now, usually we would add 3 explorers, but because of Scotland, we have to replace 2 of these with towns. I think I might keep this one around here. So let's replace both of these with towns. I don't really want to add more damage into this land. Slow power phase. We can drown a town using our innate power. So let's do that. Let's just do that thing. Let's get rid of this one. Time passes. Right, we're good to go. We're ravaging in the wetlands, and that is problematic. I think I'm going to have to reclaim here. We're also building in the coastlands, so we might get a city here if we can't deal with it. It wouldn't be the end of the world because we have ways to defend. So I'm going to reclaim. Gain a power card. I think I'll get a minor power card because I'm pretty happy with what we've got so far. Mesmerize Tranquility could be pretty good. It's 0 range, but we're always going to have our presence on these coastal lands. So I'm just going to pick this, not think about it too much. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stop this from blighting this mountain. So I think I might get this out of the way. Yeah. And we gain 2 energy. Let's have a look. 3 card plays again. Ravaging in the water, I think we're going to have to play Pent Up Calamity. Really, I want to save Trees Radiate for that defense. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Rather than gather presence from here, I'm going to gather it from here. And I'll tell you why right now. So I figured out that because we've got 3 card plays, we can actually unlock the second tier of the second innate power, and we can drown cities now. So that is huge, and I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Now, fast powers. We get 2 fear from our first innate power. Just mark that as done. We can add a disease and a strife. So we'll add a strife to this town and a disease to this land. Call of the Deeps allows us to gather a explorer. So I'm going to just gather this one into the ocean and then drown it. Fast power's done. Let's see what the event holds. On each land with at least 2 explorers, push 1 to an adjacent land without invaders. And let me just check. We don't have any lands with 2 explorers. On each board, push 1 beast. Well, we don't have any beasts. During Ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan in the land. That's fantastic because that means that we have 2 defense in this land. Right, fear powers. Each player adds 2 strife in a single land not matching the Ravage card. That is also fantastic because I'm looking at this jungle and I'm still worried about it. So why don't we add a strife to this city, and I'll just add it to this town. Right, let's go then. So ravaging the water, We get 1 strife removed here, 1 damage to the land. It's not going to blight. We've got 2 defense here, 1 damage to the Dahan. The Dahan fight back and destroy both of these. Building in the coastal lands, this disease prevents that, and we get a city in this land. Now we're dangerously close to the additional loss condition of if the number of coastal lands with a city is ever greater than 2, the invaders win. So currently we're at 2. We need to prevent a city on this land at all costs. Finally, we have an escalation, so we can add a town to somewhere. I'm going to add a town to this land here, because I think we can deal with it. And we explore in the wetlands again. Oh dear. So, slow powers, tidal boon. We gain 2 energy, can push 1 town and up to 2 Dahan from their lands. I am going to target this jungle. So I'm going to push this town into the ocean, and I think I'm going to push 2 Dahan into this land. That way we can defend it with elusive ambushes. Or at least, although that won't be enough, will it? Because it's going to build. That's tricky. That might be a mistake. Oh well, I've committed now. Let's see what happens. Otherwise, we can either drown a town or drown a city. I think I'm going to clear up this land, to be honest. Yep, I'm going to drown it. Goodbye. Gets us a fear card. Happy days. So, time passes, and we're back on the growth. We have our Defend 6 card, which would deal with the mountains. So, feeling good, got 12 energy. I think I want to unlock more card plays, because we've got the energy to do it. So I'm going to take the 3rd growth option, and let's just get majoring. Let's do it. Flow like water, reach like air is really, really cool, because it gives us plus range, and you can push one of your presence and drag along explorers and towns and Dahan. But that means, because the ocean is in play, we could drag this town into the ocean, and then it would just be drowned. So that's a really cool option. If we hit the threshold, which would be easy, we could actually destroy both of these cities. And with the +2 range, we could actually target this land with the Dahan and defend it. I'm going to go for it. That sounds pretty cool to me. So we have to forget something. Let's just forget Mesmerize Tranquility. Right, so we can push a presence from the ocean to somewhere else. So let's grab this presence and just pop it over here, just so we've got more reach towards this wetland, which I'm a little bit worried about. And we can add a presence, so I'm going to take from the bottom track and pop it over here, I guess. So let's get some defense out. Do we need anything else? Yeah, we could get some Grasping Tides going. Right, I'm going to play all these 4 cards here. Trees Radiate, Grasping Tide, Swallow the Land Dwellers, and Flow Like Water. And this unlocks part of our first innate power to get some extra fear. And we can drown a town. Sounds pretty good. So, fast powers, 2 fear. And we're going to defend 4 in this land here. We can target a jungle or a land with blight, but we also get 3, 2, 3 fear, and we're going to defend 6 in this mountains here. Right, we also get 2 fear from our innate power, which is fantastic because we get a fear card and we're at terror level 3. Everything is looking up. So fast power's done. Event card. On each board, add 1 blight to a land with a town or city. We can prevent this by paying X energy, where X is the number of cards in the invader discard, which currently is 5. So I'm going to put a blight in this land here because I want to keep the energy. That destroys a presence. Not terrible because we still have a presence in this land. In each land with a disease, 1 damage to each invader and 1 damage to each Dahan. So that gets rid of these explorers, 1 damage to the town, and 1 damage to each Dahan. Each spirit may add 1 Dahan to its lands with Dahan, which is no lands. So fear cards, defend 3 in all lands. Good card, but it's not going to matter so much. I suppose we can just add this for the sake of completion. In each land, defend 2 per Dahan. Again, that's not going to matter. It could be very clutch later on, but never mind. Invaders do not build in lands with Dahan. That's pretty huge. I'm going to pop this here so I remember. So, invader actions. Ravaging the coast. We get no blight in any of these lands. We're building in the water. This disease prevents that. And because of this fear card, invaders do not build in lands with Dahan. And that's great for this land because now we don't have to worry about it adding blight. And we're exploring in the Sands Mountains. Okay, Ah, and I need to remember, actually, these are towns because we explored on the coast. Right, slow powers. I can drown some towns. So let's do that. I want to clear out this land up here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to drown this town and this town using our innate power and swallow the land dwellers. Right, time passes. And I think this might finally be the time to reclaim. We've got 10 energy. We only have to deal with the cities. Do we go for mages again? I mean, it gives us more options. Why not? Let's have a look, see what we get. Ooh, fire and flood is very nice. We're probably going to unlock that threshold, that water threshold. So we can do a lot of damage. I think I'm going to pick that up. And I think Pent-Up Calamity might have outstayed its welcome. It's fantastic, but I think we don't need it anymore, so let's forget that. We gain 2 energy, and we need to put a presence back into the ocean. So here's what we're going to do. Fire and Flood for the damage in the slow phase. Elusive Ambushes, just to deal with this land here. Tidal Boon to unlock some innate powers, and the same thing for Swallow the Land Dwellers, because now we can drown a city, and we can start working on these cities on the coast. Hopefully we can deal with this one with our major power, but we'll see what happens. So we'll pay 9 energy for that, and we will do our fast powers. So defend 4 in a land with the Han. That's it for fast powers, so we move on to the events. On each board, in the land with the most towns, replace 2 towns with 2 cities. So that's going to be this land here, actually. So both of these become cities. Wow, that's a lot of cities. On each board, push 2... Well, we don't have any beasts. I'm not going to waste energy reading it. When invaders ravage, if the land has the Han, defend 2. These lands are very safe. So we've got 2 defense here, and we've got 6 defense here. Right, so explorer actions. We're ravaging in the wetlands. These Dahan destroy this town and this explorer up here. Building in the sands and mountains. Okay, right, looks a bit spooky. And we're exploring in the sands and the wetlands. Wetlands here, wetlands here. Now, because this is a coastal land, we add a town. Right, let's do our innate first. We can drown a city. So let's drown this city here. Tidal Boon, we get 2 energy. And we can push a town. So let's clear up this, push it into the ocean, which drowns it. Swallow the Land Dwellers allows us to drown this town over here. Now Fire and Flood, it's a bit of a shame. I'm going to actually take this up here. We have unlocked one of the thresholds, so we get +4 damage in either target land. So we target 2 lands. Of range 2, we have our sacred site here, so this one, I'm going to deal 8 damage. That destroys 2 cities, and 2 damage to this city here. Not quite enough. It's a shame that event added some cities, else we would have been golden. So in the second land, I'm going to deal 4 damage to this land to get rid of a city. And okay, we had a fear victory. We have earned all of the fear cards, and we've done. We're good. Now I'm going to go through this footage, and if I find a mistake, I'm going to be very sad. I'm just going to release the video because I don't think I can do this again. I was very careful, very meticulous, so we'll see. So, fun game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.